Greetings to the best lecturer, Dr. Norazana Ibrahim, and who might watching this video. The group consists of 6 people, including me, myself, who is going to talk about the introduction, the first touch of what our presentation is all about. As the task speaks for us, this is mainly about group project 3. There are 2 which are alternative source of energy and conventional source of energy. By that, we are group 7 going to talk more about hydroelectric as the alternative source of energy. Alright. Coming to the abstracts, there's not much to talk about. Hydropower is a very important source of renewable electricity with a share of 16 to 70% of the total world electricity generation. Like, can you imagine that? Thanks to the people who invented this, as it lights the world to the better place. Hydropower is by far the largest source of renewable electricity. In 2016, with more than twice the contribution from all other renewable combined. In addition to the energy supply, hydropower can offer many very important services to the power grid, helping to maintain system stability and security of supply. For example, like providing frequency regulation, voltage support, contingency reserves, loads following, and black start service. Moving on to the introduction, to the section where you guys will have the brief exposed of hydroelectric. Hydropower is widely distributed and only few regions are without significant hydropower potential. The countries of the developed world have exploited many of their best sites, and hydropower generations forms part of the bedrock upon which the nation's prosperity is based. Development elsewhere has been slower, but there have been major advances in Asia, particularly in China, in recent years, and many of the countries of South America rely heavily on hydropower for electricity generation. Right. Even so, most of these regions have much remaining capacity, while in Africa, hydropower is significantly undeveloped. If we take a look in Malaysia, most of Malaysia's electricity generation capacity is natural gas-fired and coal, but the government is seeking to achieve a more balanced portfolio of electricity generation over the coming years to meet its growing demand and reduce its dependency on fossil fuels. This has benefited Malaysia's hydropower sector, which has in the past largely been concentrated in Peninsular Malaysia, but due to its high rainfall and geography, the state of Sarawak on the island of Borneo is expected to experience the lion's share of new development. Alright, that's all from me. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Najib. So now we're moving on to the process of hydroelectric. So on Earth, water is constantly moved around in various states. It is a process known as the hydrologic cycle. Water actually evaporates from the ocean, forming into clouds, falling out as rain and snow. So gathering into streams and river, flowing back to the sea. So all of this movement provides an enormous opportunity to harness the useful energy. So by taking advantage of this gravity and the water cycle, we have tapped into one of the nature's engine to create a useful form of energy. So basically hydropower plants capture the energy of falling water to generate electricity. So a turbine converts the kinetic energy of falling water into mechanical energy. Then a generator converts the mechanical energy from the turbine into electrical energy. So these are the major components of the hydroelectric plants. First is the dam. It raises water level of the river to create a falling water. It also controls the flow of the water. And the reservoir that is formed is in fact to store energy. And for the second one, the turbine, it is the force of falling water pushing against the turbine blades causes the turbine to spin. A water turbine is much like a windmill, except the energy is provided by the falling water instead of the wind. So the turbine converts the kinetic energy of falling water into mechanical energy. And then we go to the generator. It is connected to the turbine by shaft and possibly gears. So when the turbine spins, it causes the generator to spin also. So it's convert the mechanical energy from the turbine into electrical energy. Generators in hydropower plants work just like the generator in other types of power plants. And the fourth one is the transmission lines. It conducts electricity from the hydropower plants to homes and business.
Greeting, I am Badrul. I will explain about the advantages and disadvantages of hydroelectric energy as the alternative energy sources. The first advantages is hydroelectric energy is renewable. This means that we cannot use up this energy. However, there is only a limited number of suitable reservoirs where hydroelectric power plant can be built. The second one is green. Generating electricity with hydro energy is not polluting itself. It's not emits any harmful gases. The third one is reliable. Hydroelectricity is very reliable energy where there are very little fluctuations in terms of electric power that has been by the plants unless a different output is desired. So the fourth one is hydroelectric energy flexibles. As you mentioned, by adjusting water flow and output of electricity is easily. The fifth one is safe. Compared to the among other fossil fuel and nuclear energy, hydroelectricity is much more safer. There are no fuel involved other than water. The first disadvantages of hydroelectric energy is environmental consequences. The environmental consequences of hydropower are related to the invasions in nature due to damming of water, change water flow and construction road and power lines. Fish habitat are shaped by physical factors such as water level, water velocity, shelter containers, and etc. The second one is expensive. Building the power plant in general is expensive. Hydroelectric power plants are not an exception of this. On the other hand, these plants do not require a lot of workers and maintenance are usually low. So the third one is drought. Electricity generations and energy prices are directly related to the how much water is available. Drought could potentially affect this. The last one is limited reservoir. We are really started using the suitable reservoir for hydroelectric power plants. For other countries, there are no suitable reservoir that has been placed, so we have limited reservoir that can be built the hydroelectric power plant.
Good morning, my name is Javier Fecet, and today I'm going to mention some of the social and environmental effects of a hydroelectrical power plant. Talking about social effects, I have to mention that we can find some positive and some negative effects. The first two effects are positive, and the second ones are negative. In the positive effects, we can find the creation of jobs due to the building of a power plant and the creation of recreational areas for swimming or boating. Um, Talking about negative effects, we have the boomtown and also the population resettlement due to the construction of the dam. Moving to environmental effects, we have to mention the deforestation and loss of biodiversity when building a dam, and also the rise of the temperature of the downstream of the river and the destruction of flora and fauna because of the ecological flow released by the dam. The ecological flow is the minimum quantity of water that has to be released in order to keep the river alive, even if the production of the plant is stopped. These all effects are referred to the destruction or alteration of local fauna and flora.
Hi, my name is Fatia Adin and I'm going to explain about the hydroelectric effects in terms of politics and economy. Political effect. The construction of hydroelectric dams on international rivers is one of the key factors in recent days that have generated tension and crisis among the countries. We can see the example in Farakka Dam in India, where the Bangladesh is facing several problems because of the construction of Farakka Dam, which has become a conflict zone for the government of Bangladesh. The distribution of water may also give rise to conflicts between countries. For instance, the newly proposed dam in Sabakot, Kashmir. However, due to the poverty, power inequality and political problem between Bangladesh new government and India, Bangladesh is kind of embracing the discrimination. This issue nevertheless would not be recognized in other countries and this could turn into war. Hydropower projects may lead to poverty as well. For example, the hydropower projects in rural area may cause poverty by interfering with food security, especially the productivity of fisheries or the availability of farmland. Moving on to the economical effect, where we can see the hydroelectric power plant project. Most of these projects were built years earlier when the construction costs were low. As a result, this plant plays a significant role in keeping the cost energy affordable for customers, thereby having a positive effect on the economy. Next is the cost and poor performance of large dams. Dams consistently cost more and take longer to build than projected. In general, the larger the hydropower plant, the larger the cost of its construction in percentage term. Then lastly is the largest energy development in many poor countries, which lead to the unbalanced and climate risky energy supply. Throughout recent years, several hydro-dependent countries have experienced drought-induced breakout and electricity rationing.
Greetings, I'm Vern and I'll be concluding on the hydroelectric energy source. First, there are some pros and cons for this hydroelectric energy. First, the pros are renewable energy, greener energy source, reliable and also flexibility and safer. Then the cons of the hydroelectric plant are environmental consequences. The price of electricity is very expensive. Then the drought season and also the number of limited reservoirs. Then let's look at the social effects. First, the social effects. The positive social effects are the creation of job positions. Then the creation of recreational area for swimming or boating, but there is also negative social effects such as big loss of cultural heritage assets, customs and traditions. Now let's look at the environmental effects. First one is the deforestation and the loss of biodiversity. This is because when to build a hydroelectric plant they have to do deforestation. So this will lead to loss of biodiversity and also the effect of the flora and fauna of the rivers in the downstream when huge amount of water is left to flow. Now let's look at the political effects. First, if building hydroelectricity power plant might lead to tensions and crises among the countries. Then distribution of water also may lead to the conflicts between certain countries and also hydropower projects also may lead to poverty. Now let's look at the economical effects. First, the economical effects are the low cost of power grid. Then some of the projects were built years earlier when the construction costs were low. Then it also can contribute to unbalanced and climate risky energy supply. Thank you.